Okay, welcome to this video. So we're With My Money. We're a marketing agency company, and today we're going to show you how to have one contact with multiple opportunities in a pipeline. So as you can see, if I type Manuel right in this pipeline right here, I have an initial form submitted. Then I have one in the second stage, and then I have one almost at the end of the stage. You can see it right here. So we have three ones at the same time belonging to one contact. So, okay, so there are some prerequisites to this. So since we want to save our info, let's say if someone doesn't complete the application at once. So in this case, right, I have a client that needs to accept multiple applications from one customer. So this is a tedious process. It has a lot of fields. So the customer is split into four forms, right? So at the beginning, I was using the contact fields, but then once a second person came, then it would override the contact fields for with the second application. So how I managed to do this, right? So in the first form, first of all, we need to set up. If we go back into settings, right? You go to settings, and then you go scroll down to your business profile, and then you can see this: look for allow duplicate opportunities. So we want to make sure that is checked. And then you can see here, allow multiple opportunities per contact. So that's the first thing. Okay. So the second thing, let's say maybe the user won't complete the first three forms, right? So you have to have a trigger link or that you can send via email or SMS to link the different forms. All right. So as you can see, I have my custom value. I have my links that I put in trigger links. And what is the trick here? You can see that I have a opportunity ID field, and I'm passing opportunity ID as a query parameter, along with the phone, email, and the rest of the things. So by default, GoHighLevel does this on a trigger links with the contact ID, but not the opportunity ID. So yeah, they need to fix this right away. So if I go to my trigger links, this is what I'm using to relate and keep track of the forms. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, I just reference that and then pass that in the trigger link. Okay, so the second thing, we need to create an opportunity ID field per form of the process. Okay, so if I have four forms, right? In this case, they are called one, 2B, 2A, 2B, and then three. So, but in reality, I have four, right? So I have an opportunity ID for each field. Okay, so for each form, right? So if we go to the forms, right? Go to the forms. By the way, I started using opportunity fields and didn't go well. It doesn't work because every time you submit, let's say if you submit a second form, it will always create a new opportunity. So that's why opportunity fields are out of the question. So yeah. So in the initial sign up form, this is the easiest one. You don't need to have an ID, right? So once you submit, okay. So we have the form submission here, the first one, okay, initial application. So ignore these ones for here and imagine that we just have submitted, right? So we click on create opportunity, right? This way, every time you upload the first form, it will always create a new opportunity. Super important. This is a new trigger, new action. Okay. So once that happens, and then you have to pass all the contact fields into the opportunity, and you can imagine most of the opportunity fields need to be a text, otherwise you cannot pass a dynamic value or a variable. This is the problem with radios and drop downs. So yeah, that's why I made most of them either a text or a multi-text. Okay. So after you do that and feed the contact fields into the opportunity fields and make sure the opportunity name and the pipeline stage is okay, you save your action. Okay. And then This is super important. You need to update and create a contact field uh, called opportunity ID. All right, for each of the four forms. So I have opportunity ID one. Okay, I have opportunity 2A, which is the second form, 2B, which is the third form, and opportunity 3, which is the fourth form. So please get those fields created. They're just text. Okay. So that way you can feed the contact field the first time. You can say, hey, this is the opportunity ID for the first submission. This is what needs to be done on the first submit. Okay. I received my two messages, right? One for the previous one and then one for this one. So let's say I submitted my form, right? Hey, we received your signing request. We'll get back to you, right? So once they approve and they move that pipeline to approve, right? They're gonna send me the second form. Okay. So in this case, I can see here, right, that I'm using the trigger link, which I mentioned. So, like I said, in my trigger links, I always reference custom values in case I need to use that link somewhere. So you see, I have the forms, the link to the forms. So in this case, I use those, right? So folders and links, right? And here you go, right? So in these trigger links, I have the opportunity ID. I used to pass contact email and phone before getting to the multiple opportunity just to maintain the opportunity. But now we can pass opportunity ID, of course. So if we go to the second form, you can see I added the contact field opportunity ID 2A since we're in the 2A, okay? And I'm passing the opportunity ID as query parameter. Very important. You see that it's not 2A, no, it's ID, and that's it. That way it's standard throughout the four forms, okay? So, and we have to set it hidden, and this is really what gives us the ability to find an opportunity after this form is submitted. So how does this look, right? So you get the form submission, okay? And with that value being on the second form, right? I'm going to find an opportunity with that opportunity ID, right? That is previously fetched from the opportunity one through the trigger link. And then you can see here, I'm passing a 2A, right? Verify. Yep. So this will find the opportunity. And then in the following forms, I do not use create opportunity, but I use update opportunity, as you can see. And I don't know why is this taking so long. Right? And then all the information from the second form, all the new fields. We don't need to pass the first ones, just the second ones. Okay. So we click save. We make sure that the pipeline and the stage is correct. Another thing to mention in this allow opportunity to move any previous stage in pipeline still works. Let's say in my case, I don't want to move the opportunity to the first form or the previous ones. In that case, maybe the person files the form again with the same opportunity ID, and then those fields get updated. But I keep my form at the most late stage in the journey. So yeah, that's important just to notice. But again, if you want to, let's say if they submit the form one again, and if you want the opportunity to move back, uh, you can select this. And then you can take this process as much times as you want. So in this case, the customer order four forms, and yeah. So in this case, I have the third form, and it's the same. So in the third form, it's submitted. Okay. Then I find the opportunity. Okay, by opportunity ID 3. I can check here, ID 3, right? And I will retrieve the same opportunity and move forward. And then again, I can pass only the values from the third application. So and yeah, you see testimonials and all that. I didn't have it before, and I keep feeding my opportunity, and it can go back forth. So only the opportunity fields will get used, and then you can ignore the contact ones. They're just an auxiliary at this point, since we cannot use opportunity fields, and yeah, they have to allow make all this more simpler using opportunity field in the forms. But again, every time, let's say if you map into another stage, then it will always create a new one, and it doesn't make the relation. So yeah.